Hi, I'm David.
And I'm Rachel.
And welcome to Leisure Bit. And today we're off to a Caravan and Motorhome Club certified location, which is near Yarm. It's called Greenfields and it's in Hilton in North Yorkshire.
In today's video we're going to show you around the site and also a quick look into Hilton at some of the things there. We also went on to Yarm to get something for our dinner on the evening.
And then finally on Sunday morning we went to Preston Park, which is in Preston-On-Tees, just near Yarm. So let's take a look. So we're just heading on our way to Greenfields Farm Caravan and Motorhome Club certified location, and we're heading through the town of Yarm, or Yarm-On-Tees as it's known. And as you can see, it's a Saturday afternoon and the traffic's fairly busy. Typically if you miss the peak hours you can get through Yarm okay. There are other routes to get to the site, but just thought this was the most picturesque route and gives you a little bit of a view of Yarm-On-Tees. There is disc parking in the high street for an hour, but the bays are fairly small, so fine if you've got a car or a small camper van, but you'd probably need to park a little bit further out with a motorhome. When we get to the roundabout, we take a left-hand turn just where the garage was, and then just head down this road for a little way, and then we come to another roundabout and we head straight on again, and then we go down a bank known locally as Leven Bank, and that crosses the River Leven, where we go over the bridge at the bottom of the bank here. And then we head up the other side. It's a reasonably steep bank, but not too bad. There's the Fox Covert pub on the left hand side just before we turn right, and we're making a right hand turn now down towards Hilton, and then just follow the road for about a mile or so. We're just driving through the village of Hilton at the moment. Just coming up on the right hand side we've got the Church of St Peter, and on the left the Falcon pub. We're now going to make a left hand turn and just head down Roger Lane towards the CL. And the CL's just past this building here on the left hand side. So we've arrived at the CL. I popped over and saw the owner of the CL just at the farm across the way. Paid him the £14 for the night with a 16 amp electrical hookup, and he said you can take the pick of your pitch. And as you can see there, the van on the pitch, the one we chose was pitch number 3. It's a 5 van site, Caravan and Motorhome Club certified location, and there's the information from the website. You can find the site on the Caravan and Motorhome Club's website. I'll pop a link in the description below. Here's the chemical emptying point. There's also a tap to rinse it out, and there is waste and recycling bins, tap for flushing out your wastewater, and of course a freshwater tap, and those are just in the bottom left hand side of the CL. And let's just have a quick look around. It gives you an idea on it. You saw the pictures on the left hand side and you can see the ones on the right. Now just having a look from the other side, and it just gives you a view of those ones where we were over at that side. And as you can see, there's various farm animals including sheep around. You can see them there in the direction of the village. And there's Rachel taking a picture of me taking a picture of her. as you can see, there's the 16-amp hookups, and you turn the knob so it's vertical in order to power up the connection, and turn it horizontally to switch it off. We then took Roxy for a walk, and it was about a couple of 100 yards down the road. Turn left as you go out of the CL and just be careful for traffic. But there was a public footpath and the field was empty of animals, so we chucked the ball for Roxy and let her have a good run around. Just having a look there around what you can see, and if you look closer you can spot the van up at the CL in the distance near the farm buildings. Unfortunately it was quite misty, so the view wasn't as nice as you would have hoped for. And on the way back we saw this chap. We then had a quick look at Hilton. Here's the Great War Memorial, and then had a wander up to the church, which is the Church of St. Peter, and it dates back to the 12th century. The village has a pub called the Falcon, and there's also a pub just a little bit further away which we passed earlier, which is the Fox Covert. We decided to get ourselves a takeaway for tea, and so had a drive through Yarm-On-Tees. This is just a few photographs taken as we passed through. It was starting to get dark, so the photos are a little bit darker, but you can see some of the restaurants and pubs and a few of the shops and things as we headed to get our takeaway. On Sunday morning, went to Preston Park, or officially known as Preston Hall Park. It's a 100-acre public park in Preston-On-Tees, and the River Tees runs through the park or alongside the park. Parking's free, but the museum and butterfly world has an admission charge. Dogs are allowed in the park. I'm not sure if they're allowed in the butterfly world or exhibition. We're just looking around the part of the park now which is near to the River Tees. As you can see, that's just looking from the little jetty. If you head down the bank, you'll find the little jetty. And there's also a walk further along if you want to walk along the banks of the River Tees, and you can head towards Stockton direction, or you can head towards Yarm direction. Some of it's got boardwalk along the way. As you can see, there's plenty of ducks and some swans and various other animals and birds to have a look at. When I arrived, there was a couple of people swimming across the river, and bear in mind it's the middle of January. I imagine that was pretty cold. And this is early-ish on the morning. The sun was just rising up at this point. I say some more ducks around the pier or the jetty on the River Tees. You can see there's the Tees Heritage Park plaque and the path back up towards the museum and the hall. And that's another track along the river, which either heads out of the park if you keep going on, or there's a track back up to the museum that way as well. And there's the jetty. And then just before we move away from the riverside, let's just take a final look along there. It gives you a bit of a view of what's down by the side of the river. We'll now head back up and head towards the museum and just have a look around the top of the park. I've purposely not covered everything that's at Preston Park, so if you go there you've got the opportunity to discover some things that I haven't captured. Also, it started to rain, unfortunately, which wasn't brilliant, but still not too bad a morning really. And we're just having a look there, and we're just swinging round now to where the Preston Hall Museum is, and just see it coming into shot there. So this is the museum. You go in there. As I say, it's open from 10 till 4:30, the museum. I think we're about 8 o'clock, 8:30 at this point in time, so it wasn't open then. Just gives you a bit more a view of the museum there. And that's the way in, just through the door at the front there. As we move along round to the side of the museum, we'll just have a quick look back across the park. It just gives you an idea of the size of Preston Park there. So it goes right along to the tree lining then, which is against the main road. And again, if you watch closely, you probably spot the van in the car park there, back in the distance, and just swing back round, which is back to where we've just come from, and there's the museum. So just going to pop the camera, unfortunately with it being closed at this point, couldn't get in to have a look at it, but that just gives you a quick view of the Victorian street there, just looking over the fence into it. But you can go in and have a look around in that. Used to go quite often with my mum and dad and my brother when I was younger, so always nice to see these things are still around. Let's just take a final look around the park there. There's the children's play area. This gives you a little bit of a view of that, and just over kind of straight ahead there you'll see the cafe, and there's a skating park, and then finally Butterfly World, which we mentioned earlier, where you can see butterflies in a tropical environment. So I hope you enjoyed the look around the CL, the quick look at Hilton, quick photographs as we went through Yarm, and then the shots from Preston Park. I hope you found those useful. Now we're going to do our review. Just a reminder on our reviews as well, they're just our opinion. They're nothing official or anything like that. They're just our opinion, because we are looking for the 5-star site, and I think there'll only be 1 or 2 of those. So anything 3 or above is actually definitely worth a look for sure. So Rachel, we'll start with you. Okay. I've got my questions on the phone today, and I'm going to take my glasses off so I can see it. So, how did you rate the location of this site?
Do you know what? Right, we decided to go to this site because we'd had a busy week at work, and we actually wanted to unwind and have nothing to do, if I'm honest with you. We wanted that complete peace and quiet. This site did it. It was really peaceful. There's in open countryside. There was some stuff to see nearby at the farm, but actually it was close enough to the food and the pubs in Yarm, and equally a lovely look around Preston Park that Roxy enjoyed. So location wise, I will probably give it a 3. What about you?
So I think it was great for a quiet break. Really disappointed that we had a bit of mist and fog, because the views were actually beautiful the next morning across to the hills. So such a shame we didn't catch that on the Saturday, but there we go, never mind. But yeah, I'd agree. I would give the location a 3, and you can certainly walk to the Falcon in Hilton as well. Probably when the weather's a little bit warmer, I would recommend, rather than when it was frosty and icy like it was when we were there. So the second question, what about facilities on the CL?
Well, because it was a CL, obviously there was a lot fewer facilities than the site that we were at last week. It was perfectly clean, the pitches were good, it was grass. There was a little shop on site, so a little honesty shop whereby you could buy little baked goodies, bread, etc. So that was really, really good. What was really impressive was there was actually only us there, and it was in a secure field, and so actually Roxy got the whole run of the field, so that was brilliant. She loved that. So facility wise, I think I'll probably give it a 2.
So I'd say for a CL it had everything you needed. It had the, as we've gone through already in the video, so it had the hookup, it had the disposal point, it had your water, so it had everything you could want from a CL. I think on top of that, as well, as Rachel mentioned, it had a lovely little farm shop, and we got a couple of scones there, a couple of cheese scones, and they were delicious. When we wanted to take Roxy for a walk off site, the closest public footpath was about 150 metres down the road, and you had to walk along the road. That's kind of turning left at the end of the site.
I like the pig as well. That was cute.
Yes. So I think I would rate it as, I'd probably go as far as to say for a CL it was a good 3, and the 16 amp hookup's definitely worth something, because you don't get that everywhere. So what about things to do in the area? Rachel? What are activities and things to do?
As you said before, there is a pub in Hilton, so probably a 5-minute walk away. So if you want to go for something to eat or drink, that was really close by. There was a lovely little village church to look around. So Yarm is probably a 10-minute drive away, and Yarm, I think I read somewhere, has got the most pubs per population in sort of a small, so it's one high street, so it's one road either side, and it's just restaurant, pub. So if you want to go out for something to eat or drink, Yarm is absolutely fantastic. What do you think?
So yes, I think it's in the nearby area. You can wander to the pub. I think we're going into Yarm. It's a lovely place to go out and eat and that sort of thing. So if you class that as nearby, then absolutely, I'd class that as good. Yes.
Yep.
So, what's your overall rating of the site then?
I'm gonna give it a 3. Overall, I think for a CL it was very good, very clean. The people were lovely. I loved the little honesty shop. I liked the animals, so there was pigs and pygmy goats and rare braided sheep, etc. I always like Yarm. Whenever we go to Yarm, it's a nice place, friendly, lots to see and do. And Roxy loves Preston Park, so it was a good all-round experience, and I certainly got the R&R time that I really wanted and needed this weekend. What about you?
So I'll give it 3.5. So lovely little site, would definitely recommend it, and I would certainly go back there again. Would you go back again?
Yeah, I would. I'd definitely go back again. It was a good experience.
So that's our kind of candid review, and it's just our opinion.
And it's mainly for our record, isn't it? So that we can look back and decide on the places that we want to go back to.
Yeah.
So we can keep a little record of that as well.
So, thank you for watching. Hope you found it useful, and we'll catch you next time. Bye.